I can't remember the last time that everybody knew everything about a phone, but nobody knew anything about when we'd actually see it. And this seems to be the case with the Google Pixel 4a. Everything about this Pixel phone leaked all the way back in January, which was only 5 months ago, even though that seems like a lifetime. And that's not good for Google because all of their specs get released months ahead of a phone even being announced. And some people think it's really good because we get to see what we're going to get, but I kind of hate this idea at the moment of the leak culture is good because it kind of ruins what you expect to see and the surprise disappears from any single phone release. But anyway, it's 5 months since we first had those first leaks of the Google Pixel 4a, and first of all it was just a few specs and maybe what the design was going to look like, and as the months went on so did the leaks, and we got more and more and more, up to a point now where we know absolutely every single spec about the Pixel 4a. The only thing that we don't know is where is it? The initial plan for Google was to announce this phone at Google I/O, like they did with the Pixel 3a back in 2019, but obviously because of the world, everything has got cancelled, which meant they had to shelve their plans for announcing the Google Pixel 4a. The idea then for Google was to do an online launch, just like Apple did with the iPhone SE, but it didn't happen. It was then rumoured to be announced in May, and guess what? That didn't happen. Then there were reports of it being announced on June 3rd, just like Android 11 was, and guess what? That didn't happen. And now we're looking at July 13th for another announcement date for the Pixel 4a. And I think at this point, people are just starting to lose interest, and it's even more disappointing. We know that there isn't going to be an XL version of this phone, and that'll be the first time that Google have ever shipped a brand new phone that does not have an XL coming out at the side of it. And this is leading me on to the question of, has Google just cancelled the Pixel 4a? And to be honest, it is now looking more and more likely that the Google 4a might never come out at all. And I'm saying this because John Prosser did a tweet this week, and it says on there that we're still expecting to hear about the release of this phone on July 13th, but the actual release date where we can buy it will not be until October. And October is when Google release the Pixel 5. It all seems a little bit manic from Google at the moment, and even more so that we've learned now that there'll only be one colour of the Pixel 4a, and that will be black. They've completely scrapped releasing that blue version. The 4a was meant to rival the iPhone SE in almost every single spec, and even to a point where it was going to undercut it in price, which would have probably put it above the iPhone SE for a lot of people. But now we're not going to get this phone until October, when we see the Pixel 5. Does it even make sense to release a Google Pixel 4a? And I don't think it does anymore. I don't think it makes sense to release the 4a under the current 4a name. I think if they're going to release it, Google will probably change the name of this now to the 5a and release two different versions of the phones, just like Apple do. So Apple released the iPhone 11 and 11 Pro, so that I think in October when we finally see the Google Pixel 5, we might also see the 4a but rebranded as the 5a. I do think Google are a little bit all over the place with this 4a. We've seen leaks and hands-on of this phone. We've seen retail boxes which are shipped, packaged and ready to go, but we haven't seen the 4a. We haven't heard anything official from Google, obviously, because they're not going to talk about a new product which might or might not be coming out. But at the moment, it kind of is like, remember when you were a kid and you would do something wrong and you would try and hide it so your parents didn't find out, but eventually they would just ask you about it and then you would come clean and cry a little bit. It seems like that Google is doing that. They're trying to hide this Pixel 4a until someone actually stands up and says to them, right, what's the deal? Are you releasing a 4a or not? Who knows when we'll see the Pixel 4a, or even if it'll be called the 4a, because at this point they could just cancel it. And what we know at the moment is the announcement date is July 13th for release in October, which seems mad, but that could literally all change. So no one knows anything about this phone at the moment. If you're waiting for the Pixel 4a to be released though, you might be waiting a couple of months. So maybe get yourself a backup option, just in case.